G'day YouTube. It's a year since I started the channel Urban Bounty, so I just thought I'd go around and show how much growth has occurred in the garden over the last year in Melbourne. I wanted to do the video on Sunday, which was actually when it was made last year, but the weather has just been atrocious. Hail, wind, we had an earthquake, but today's first day the blue skies come out again. So this is where I started my first video a year ago on the apple, but I'll just go around and show a few of the trees and just see how they compare now until from last year. Thanks. So as you can see, this loquat probably tripled in size, if not quadrupled, in Melbourne over the course of 12 months in the ground. Can't go wrong with the loquat. So I'll put a picture up of how it was when I put it in last year, so you can compare it. So here's the red Chatoot mulberry. These things are amazing. Look how small the tree is, and have a look how much fruit's hanging off it. I'm glad I purchased that. That was a very good buy. So here's the bacon avocado. I think it loses its leaves as it puts out new leaf growth, so as it puts out flowers. So it appears like done the same thing last year. It appears like the leaves come out with the flowers, and then the old flowers just wilt and fall off in the wind. So that's why the tree looks shabby, but I think it's actually really healthy. I think in a month or so all those new leaves will be bright green and it'll look 100% again. So that's gotten quite a lot bigger. The hass is doing the same thing, but it's hanging on to its old leaves a bit better, but it's putting out new leaves with the flowers. And I'll just stand back so you can see the size of that in 12 months. So let's put on a bit of size. Plenty of fruit hidden under those leaves. That's my biggest Jabo, the Sabara, but it's they don't grow very fast, but they're always growing, I find. Even though they're slow growers, they're always putting something out. So that's been out all winter. Dropped a few leaves, but still doing well. The Pomelo is still kicking goals. I don't know if I'm going to have to thin the fruit out on this one this year, but I'll leave them on for now. But I've never seen a citrus with so many flower buds on it. So that tolerated the winter weather and that very cold patch we had in spring quite well. Just so you guys can see, the Amman Guava lost all its leaves. Just out here completely unprotected, but it's got heaps of new shoots starting to pop out from the side, so I'm pretty happy with that. And the giant Jabo almost lost all its leaves, but I've done a scratch test and all the all the branches are still green right up to the tip. So if it got through the last winter and that cold patch in spring at that size, I'm pretty confident this one will be a permanent fixture in that spot there. I was a bit worried about it, but if it got through this season, it'll get through the next one. The Leejube starting to take on a nice form. Getting some side branches there, and it's going to love that spot too. And this Persimmon, one of my favourite trees, a Fuyu. That's our oldest tree now that I've taken out the nectarine that used to be there and put another Persimmon in. This is about 5 years old. Well, the oldest tree we've had in the ground. And it's loaded in flowers this year because I had an apricot situated in the middle there. It was all too crowded with the plum and the persimmon, so I moved the apricot, and now it's got more flowers than I've ever seen it have. So there'll be a bumper crop from that tree this year. Same with the plum. I've never seen so many plums. It's the Mariposa, this one. But it looks like every blossom turned into fruit so far. We'll see how many it drops, but that's loaded too. The Pepino patch is doing well. I just put it in a week or two ago, but plenty of flowers, and the plants are looking quite happy there. And this Persimmon I've got high hopes for. They're pretty hassle free, and produce a lot of expensive fruit, so it's a no-brainer really. Just if you eat a lot of them, just put more than one in. And just while I'm here, I can report that these in-ground compost bins work a treat. There's a heap more worms in the garden, and they were constantly filling it up, and you leave it for a few days, you open it and it's half empty again. It's almost hard to keep up with topping it up all the time. So all that nutrients will be just going into the surrounding soil there. Yeah, very happy with them. I've put 3 of them in, and there it is with the lid on. So yeah, quite a handy little unit. So this is my only ornamental plant that I've got left, but it's ornamental and sentimental. So there's a bit of a backstory to this one, but when this flower opens, I'll make a feature video on it. Cheers. So here's the front yard after a year, and certainly looks a lot different than just a few rose bushes and other ornamentals. I'll do a video in the future of the veggies. The veggies aren't my department, that's my wife looks after the veggies, and it's quite ingenious the way she squeezes some things in. So one day I'll do a feature on that, because that's where most of our produce by weight would come from at the moment, because the fruit trees are still quite small. But yeah, I won't do it in this video, but I'll do when everything's sort of going crazy, I'll make a video on the veggies. But I'll move over here, show you the blueberries. I mean, you can't ask for more than that from a little shrub. Look how much that's putting out. So I think this one's called the Kisses variety, and in the middle is the burst variety, which had really good fruit last year, and this year it's only got a handful of good ones, and the rest are still there, but they're small. So obviously I'll have to look into why it's doing that. But the one next to it, which is called the peach sorbet, is also having a good year. So if we get down there, you can see it's actually just notice it's actually putting out fresh ones too, while the other ones are almost ripe. So yeah, pomegranate, wonderful. That's only 2 years old. This is the Gyro Persimmon, and this is a ripper. Look how nice that looks. It's a semi-dwarf. We've actually got flowers this year. Looks like it might have a couple of fruit, not many, but it'll have a couple. That's the strawberry guava. Might put a picture next to that one to show you how small it was 12 months ago. And this apricot, I've moved this 3 times, so it hasn't got much of a root system, because every time I move it I have to cut the roots. But it's never really had more than 3 or 4 fruit in a season. But now it's in full sun, it's absolutely loaded. So I hope these all hang on. But it's got hundreds on there, so it's got virtually no root system, because when I moved it, I sort of just cut a small circle around it and staked it up really good. But apricot's one of my favourite fruits, tropical or temperate, so I just had to have one. So that's the apricot that was in the middle of the persimmon and the plum. It's a dwarf, but the fruit that it has produced was really tasty. So and it looks like it's got a lot on it this year, so fingers crossed. So along this north facing wall I've just squeezed in a few things, but these 2 160 litre pots here, they're going to be dragon fruit, because that wall there gets so hot during summer that all night it stays warm, and it's protected from the frost under the eaves there. So I've just got to get around to, I've got the potting mix there, I've got the posts there, I've just got to get around to putting them in. And here's the main dragon fruit on the overkill structure. But I grafted a few different varieties on. That's that graft there, underneath that, just there, that's the Aussie Gold, or Isis Gold I think it's also known as. And here's a Colombian Red, which has got 2 shoots coming up. I grafted on, very untidy graft, but it worked. And I'll just wait and see which one is the better shoot, and then I'll just remove the other one. This one looks like it's got a bit of frost damage on it, so I might go with the littler one, but we'll see. I'll just wait and see. But yeah, so that's pretty much all the things that are waking up at the moment. And lastly, I just wanted to say I'm really glad I decided to make the channel. If you're thinking about making a channel of your garden, go ahead, because you meet all sorts of good people, all with similar interests. I've had a couple of blokes from the other side of the country sending me seeds and plants and fruit, and yeah, just met some really good like-minded people through the channel, and it's inspired me to keep building the garden further and further. So you can see here, this is going to be my mango bed. I'll put the bowen, the large bowen I have, and the one that the old rootstock that is still surviving, I'll put that there. But yeah, I'll keep you posted how everything's going as everything starts to take off. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.